I've got to be honest with you guys. What just happened inside the Cleveland Browns organization might be the most surreal, dramatic twist I've seen in years of covering this team. We're talking about a complete reversal, a public apology, a quarterback controversy exploding right before a divisional showdown, and ownership putting their fingerprints all over the situation. If you thought Browns football couldn't get any messier or more chaotic, let me tell you, this takes it to an entirely new level. Now here's the bombshell. Kevin Stefanski, the head coach who has stood his ground for weeks, who's consistently backed Dylan Gabriel while downplaying Shedeur Sanders, supposedly looked Shedeur in the eyes and said the words no one thought we'd ever hear. "I was wrong. I should have had your back more." That's not rumor mill talk, folks. That's a head coach swallowing pride and admitting that personal bias, organizational politics, and outside noise clouded his judgment in evaluating quarterbacks. Let's build a totem pole together. Like, subscribe, and comment. If this video gets 2,000 likes, we'll be in the playoffs. Let's do it. And how did Shedeur respond? With the same composure that's defined him since this saga began. No fireworks, no ego trip, no "I told you so." Instead, he accepted it with calmness and then turned the focus right back where it belongs, on the team. Sources say the atmosphere shifted instantly. Teammates who had been walking on eggshells suddenly felt tension lift. For the first time in weeks, hope crept back into that locker room. But don't get it twisted. This wasn't just some heartfelt emotional moment where coach and quarterback hugged it out. This was calculated. I'm hearing from insiders that ownership had enough. Jimmy Haslam and the minority owners got together after practice, furious at how the quarterback drama was spiraling out of control, damaging the brand, spooking sponsors, even drawing heat from season ticket holders. Haslam demanded resolution, and demanded it before the team's national TV spotlight. And let's be real, hashtags like Free Shedeur and Fire Stefanski weren't just trending, they were becoming a business problem. When social media starts catching fire and sponsors start making calls, billionaires get involved, and when Haslam gets involved, ultimatums follow. Think about this timeline. 3 weeks ago, training camp reports already hinted at trouble. Stefanski giving Gabriel most of the first-team reps, even though Shedeur was clearly outperforming him. 2 weeks ago, preseason film showed Shedeur breaking off explosive plays, with barely any opportunities. Last week, anonymous leaks painted him as immature and unprepared. And then yesterday, Mary Kay Cabot flat out reported the relationship between Stefanski and Shedeur was broken beyond repair. That was yesterday. This morning, complete 180. That kind of whiplash doesn't happen without a sledgehammer coming down from above. And that's exactly what happened. Stefanski didn't suddenly wake up enlightened. This was a surrender, plain and simple. He was told in no uncertain terms, make it right with Shedeur or risk your job. I'm even hearing that he reached out to old coaching buddies last night, desperate for advice. Mike Zimmer told him to swallow pride and survive. Sean McVay reminded him the modern NFL is built on coach-quarterback alignment. And Bill Belichick? In classic Belichick fashion, the only thing he said was, "Do your job." Now here's where the story gets even crazier. Stefanski isn't just apologizing, he's overhauling the entire game plan on the fly. Alex Van Pelt and the offensive staff had to rip out Gabriel's packages and start drawing up plays that cater to Shedeur's strengths. Designed runs, moving pockets, deep shots, improvisation. Hours before kickoff against a division rival, this team is scrambling to reinvent its offense. That kind of chaos usually spells disaster. But here's the thing. Shedeur might be the one player talented enough to thrive in it, because make no mistake, the stakes couldn't be higher. Across the field, Joe Burrow stands as everything Cleveland has never had. Stability, leadership, a quarterback who elevates his team and makes ownership look smart instead of desperate. The Bengals. Defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo is licking his chops right now, preparing exotic pressures to confuse a rookie in disarray. But Shedeur's ability to escape, his arm talent, his fearlessness, those things could flip the script in an instant. And let's not ignore the locker room ripple effects. Veterans who've been riding with Stefanski for years suddenly see the head coach bend to ownership's will. Some, like Myles Garrett, are preaching focus no matter what's happening on offense. Nick Chubb, coming back from injury, reportedly gave Shedeur his full support in front of the team. Meanwhile, Joel Bitonio, the longest-tenured Brown, is said to be fed up with the circus atmosphere. These are human beings, not just chess pieces, and when philosophies shift overnight, emotions run hot. Then there's the front office. Andrew Berry spent serious draft capital on both quarterbacks, only to watch weeks of dysfunction destroy cohesion. He wanted competition to play out naturally. Instead, Haslam blew the whistle and forced resolution. Berry's hands are tied, and now his credibility across the league is under fire. He knows this morning's apology is less about football and more about preserving the brand. And speaking of brand, this saga has already turned into a media frenzy. ESPN literally reworked their morning coverage to camp outside the facility. Fox Sports and CBS are building segments around the reconciliation. Social media algorithms are blasting Browns content into everyone's feed, even Shedeur's. Documentary crew has their cameras rolling, knowing this moment is cultural, not just athletic. Fans, of course, are split. Some see this as the dawn of a new era, the long-awaited freeing of their star. Others see it as yet another episode in the never-ending soap opera that is Cleveland Browns football. Parking lots around the stadium are buzzing with nervous energy, with fans daring to hope but bracing for heartbreak. Because if you've followed this team long enough, you know disappointment is always lurking around the corner. And yet, tonight feels different. Tonight feels bigger. Because this isn't just about a rookie quarterback getting a shot. This is about whether a franchise defined by dysfunction can finally align around a singular vision. This is about whether ownership's heavy hand destroys chemistry or creates clarity. This is about whether Shedeur Sanders is truly the generational talent worth tearing down walls for. Now here's the crazy part. Publicly, Shedeur played it cool, smiled, showed up, worked hard, did all the right things. But behind the scenes, he was furious. He started talking exit strategies with his agent. And when you've got a player, with his brand, with his following, with that spotlight, talking exit strategies, that's not just smoke. That's a 4-alarm fire in the Browns front office. And then the fans. Oh, the fans. The Browns announced Sanders wasn't going to play in the preseason game against Pittsburgh, and the revolt came instantly. Ticket prices collapsed. I'm talking about seats that were $175 dropping under $50 in a single day. Hashtags like Free Shedeur lit up Twitter for 3 days straight. We're not talking small chatter either. We're talking political scandal levels of engagement, all over a quarterback depth chart decision, and the numbers back it up. The one. Time Sanders actually touched the field, just one series in the preseason opener, ratings skyrocketed to 4.5 million. That's unheard of for an exhibition. The very next week, when Stefanski benched him, ratings cratered to under 200,000. Networks noticed. Executives panicked. When Shedeur plays, people watch. When he doesn't, they tune out. And the league, the billion-dollar machine, does not like that math. And just when you thought the circus couldn't get any louder, Nike picked up the megaphone. Remember, they already dropped over $90 million on Shedeur, the biggest rookie endorsement deal in history. They went straight to Browns ownership and basically said, "We didn't invest in a clipboard holder. We invested in a starting quarterback." That, right there, flipped the entire power structure of the NFL on its head. This wasn't just about X's and O's anymore. This was corporate money dictating depth charts. The league scrambled. Lawyers got involved. Whispers about new rules, commissioner intervention, ownership summits, things the NFL has never even considered. Because this isn't just about Cleveland anymore. This is commerce colliding with culture, money colliding with tradition. And if sponsors start deciding who gets snaps, what happens to competitive integrity? What happens to the authority of coaches? The foundation of the sport itself starts to crack. Meanwhile, ownership in Cleveland is drowning. Do they back Stefanski and risk financial disaster? Or do they back Shedeur and undermine their own coaching staff? Reports say Jimmy Haslam looked absolutely shell-shocked in emergency meetings because he knows what this is. This isn't a quarterback controversy anymore. This is a full-blown disruption of the NFL business model. Now, I'll be fair for a second. Stefanski does have reasons. On tape, Shedeur struggles sometimes. Blitz recognition, reading disguised coverages, breaking out of those old college habits. The plan to ease him in slowly? It makes sense for a normal rookie. But Shedeur isn't normal. He's bigger than football. And here's the kicker. They even capped his practice reps, limited him to 15% with the starters, stripped down playbook, no access to full game planning. His family's fed up. His camp is furious. And yet, through it all, Shedeur hasn't missed a meeting, hasn't skipped a practice, hasn't broken ranks with teammates. But when they locked him out of game planning for the opener, that was the breaking point. His agent even floated the word grievance. Other rookies drafted higher get treated like starters, but Shedeur, outperforming vets, was being held back. They're calling it discrimination by politics. And honestly, they might not be wrong. Think about how wild this is. We're not just talking about a kid fighting for a shot in camp. We're talking about the league itself debating exemptions, new rules, ownership summits, commissioner interventions, all because of one rookie. The NFL has seen celebrity rookies before. They've seen family legacies before. They've seen massive endorsement deals before. But all three at once, that's the storm Shedeur Sanders has dropped Cleveland into, and the season opener is less than a week away. Inside the building, tension is pulling from every corner. The coaches are trying to finalize game plans. The marketing team is plastering Sanders' face on billboards. The ticket office is scrambling. And yet the biggest question, who's the starting quarterback, has no answer. And the scenarios on the table, none of them are clean. Option 1, Jimmy Haslam steps in and overrides Stefanski, names Shedeur QB1, nuclear option. Would quiet the outside noise, but could blow the entire coaching structure to pieces. Option 2, the compromise. Roll Shedeur out in some specialty. Package, give him a taste of the action. But that's just teasing the fan base. It's a fire hose into a teacup. Nobody's satisfied. And then there's option 3, the nightmare. Shedeur's camp demanding a trade. Can you imagine? 6, 7, maybe 10 teams would line up with blank checks. Cleveland would lose a generational talent before he even got his real shot. And, let me tell you, the league office does not want that. But here's what makes this story truly dangerous. This isn't just about Cleveland. Other agents are watching. Other sponsors are plotting. Owners are holding quiet meetings wondering how to protect football from corporate power. This is the turning point. Does the game come first, or does business finally run the show? And through all of it, Shedeur himself? Ice cold, focused. Teammates tell me every day there's a new rumor, a new headline. But this kid shows up locked in like it's just another Tuesday practice. He's lifting, he's studying tape, he's bonding with the locker room. That's when you realize this isn't just hype. He's not just a rookie. He's a generational quarterback standing on the sideline while the league tears itself apart around him. Let's build a totem pole together. Like, subscribe, and comment. If this video gets 2,000 likes, we'll be in the playoffs. Let's do it. And Nike, they're not slowing down. Billboards, commercials, campaigns rolling out regardless. They're flipping the script, proving that stardom itself can force playing time. That's not marketing, that's power. And the NFL knows it. Cleveland fans, they've already picked a side. They want Sanders, and they want him now. Season ticket holders threatening to cancel. Myles Garrett dropping a smirk. Joe Flacco, the most monotone man alive, deadpanning at a podium. Yeah, maybe put QB1 on his locker. Brown's Twitter exploded like it was a parade. Memes everywhere. And you can laugh at the memes, but I'll tell you the truth, that this is real momentum. Shedeur might technically be QB4, but with injuries piling up and Flacco running on fossil fuel, the door is cracked open. And in the NFL, cracks turn into earthquakes. So here's the only question that matters. Can Shedeur Sanders actually win QB1? The odds are stacked against him. He's raw. He's young. And Deshaun Watson's $230 million shadow still hangs over this roster. But football doesn't care about contracts. Football is about moments. And right now, Shedeur has a moment. If he shines, if he delivers, if he proves under the lights what his teammates whisper in the locker room, then it's not just a debate anymore. It's a movement. And in Cleveland, a city starved for hope, belief is dangerous. But for the first time in years, it feels real.